Hammaga salom. Bugun biz siz bilan o'zimizning 6-darsimizni boshlaymiz. So what we are going to do here is that we are going to review the grammar that we have learned in our we are going to review the grammar that we have learned in our fourth lesson. Bu yerda biz 4-darsimizda yodlagan grammatikani takrorlab mashqlarni bajaramiz. So what we learned in our first lesson, we learned with you past simple and past continuous. We are going to do exercise only dedicated to past continuous. So the exercise number 1, we have got in every sentence maybe one mistake or two mistakes. So we have to find the mistakes and correct them. Birinchi mashqimizda bu yerda ko'rib turganingizdek 6 ta misol keltirilgan va o'sha misolda biz bir nechta xatolarni topib, ularni to'g'rilashimiz kerak. So the first sentence, Red Riding Hood was carrying a box. So is it correct or not? No, of course. Red Riding Hood was not carrying the box, she was carrying the basket. Sentence number 2, she was wearing a blue coat. Of course this is wrong because she is not blue Riding Hood, she is Red Riding Hood. Of course it's wrong because she is not Blue Riding Hood, but she is Red Riding Hood. So she wasn't wearing blue cloak, but she was wearing red cloak. Sentence number 3, the moon was shiny. She didn't go there at night, so the moon wasn't shiny. What was shiny? The sun. The sun was shiny. Sentence number 4, the rabbits were singing. Come on, can the rabbits sing? Of course not. No, the birds were singing. Sentence number 5, the birds were playing. Of course, the birds do not have hands, they cannot play. Maybe we can say the rabbits were playing or the children were playing. And sentence number 6, Grandma was hiding behind the tree. No, she wasn't hiding behind the tree, she was hiding in the cupboard. Yo'q, ularning buvisi daraxtning orqasida bekimayotgan emas edi. U shkafning ichida bekimayotgan edi. So as you can see, we used past continuous, positive and negative sentences structure. In exercise number 2, again we have questions on past continuous and on the text of Red Riding Hood. So here we have the questions which we have to answer. Ikkinchi mashqimizda bizda savollar bor, tekstga bag'ishlangan va ularga javob berganimizda biz past continuousni ishlatishimiz kerak. Sentence number 1. So was the wolf hiding in a tree? No, he wasn't. Second, was he watching Red Riding Hood? Yes, he was. Third, was the sun shiny? Yes, it was. Fourth, was the Red Riding Hood wearing a shovel? No, she wasn't. Her grandmother was wearing a shovel, but Red Riding Hood was wearing a cloak. Sentence number 5. Were the birds singing? Yes, they were. And sentence number 6. Were the rabbits sleeping? Yes, they were. So I did it myself. Please do it by yourself as well. Alright, so now we move on to our favorite part, grammar in conversation. So here we are going to learn the grammar in practice. And what we are going to learn is could. We have got, as you know, what is could? Could, this is past form of can. Can, this is a modal verb which describes ability, qobiliyat. So could bu canni o'tgan zamoni va u qobiliyatni bildiradi. Siz nimadirni qila olasiz yoki qila olmaysiz. Lekin hozirgi zamonda emas, o'tgan zamonda. Masalan, kichkinaligimda men basseynda suzishni bilmas edim. I couldn't swim. Or men kichkinaligimda ovqat pishirishni bilar edim. I could cook when I was young. So the formula also, it has its own formula and it's not similar to past simple, which means we cannot say I didn't could or I didn't can. Alright, this is a big mistake. Buning o'zini ham formulasi bor va u past simple'ga umuman o'xshamaydi. Agar siz I didn't could yoki I didn't can desangiz, bu juda ham katta xato bo'ladi. Shuning uchun biz formulasini birgalikda qarab chiqamiz. Birinchidan, So the formula of positive sentence is subject plus could plus verb. So you don't use verb ed or second count, you just use the verb. So I could dance, she could dance, we could dance, and so on. Negative will be subject plus couldn't or could not plus again verb. So for example, they couldn't come yesterday to our birthday party, but they apologized and sent us a present. Ular kecha bizning tug'ilgan kunga bag'ishlangan bayramimizga kelishmadi, lekin ular uzr so'rab sovg'a bizga yuborishdi. And question form is could plus subject plus verb. Could she cook when she was 15? No, she couldn't, but she learned to cook when she was 18. U ovqat pishirishni bilarmidi 15 yoshligida? Yo'q, bilmas edi, lekin 18 yoshida u ovqat pishirishni yodladi. So positive, as you can see, could, we just use subject plus could, negative subject plus could not, in question could plus subject. And that's it. It's not difficult at all. Now please make 3 sentences, 1 positive, negative, and question sentences. Perfect. Good job. So now let's move on to our exercise. So now let's read the dialogue. Let's play could and couldn't. Okay, you start. I only had £1. I could buy an ice cream, but I couldn't buy a CD. That's good. Now you start. Coco the clown was very fat. Coco the clown was very fat. He could put on his hat, but he couldn't put on his trousers. Haha, that's funny. Me again. Try this. It was snowy. Too late. Time is up. Oh, so he lost. So what we can say? It was snowy. I could go outside and play snowballs with my friends. Now you please continue. It was snowy. She could. Yes. Good job. Alright, so you see they used I could do something. You can also play it with your friends. But for example, you just give the beginning of the sentence and then they continue. So let's say I learned 3 new words. I could remember them in my head, but I couldn't make sentences with them and use them in my speaking. Now your turn. Okay. Good job. So that's it with our grammar in conversation. Now we move on to our listening part. As you can see here, we have got 6 pictures, and using these pictures, we should make a very interesting, intriguing story. And here we have the grandmother. So she wasn't hiding in the cupboard, so she wasn't very much frightened, but she was very brave person, and she fought bravely or courageously with the wolf. So one day, when the wolf came to the grandmother's house, he was very much hungry, he was starving, and he thought that he could eat the grandmother. But grandmother wasn't frightened woman. She saw the wolf, and the wolf wanted to leap to the grandmother, but she didn't scream, she didn't run away. She saw her big, beautiful rose, and she cut 2 branches of it because they have got their own needles, and she used them as a sword. So she started fighting with them, with the wolf. She started hitting wolf with them. Wolf was very much frightened and terrified of the grandmother. He started crying and asking for help, asking to stop her to do this. And then, but she didn't stop. And then he suddenly fell down to the big bunch of flowers with needles. And he started crying, ouch, it's very much hurting, so I need some help. And he decided to disappear from the grandmother and never came back. So he very quickly ran away. So this is my story. Please take 5 minutes and tell and make your own story. Trust me, it's not difficult at all. As soon as you start speaking, you will be so much enthusiastic, so much excited about this that you will not be even to stop. So please just start, just do it. Hozir siz xuddi shu rasmlarga qarab menga o'xshab hikoya tuzishingiz kerak. Va bunda siz umuman qo'rqishingiz kerak emas. Chunki boshlashingiz bilan siz juda ham zavq olasiz bundan va balkim o'zingizni to'xtata olmaysiz ham. Just do this. All right, I hope you have retold and you have received a lot of positive energy, and now we will listen to the original listening story of this text.
Pupils Book, Unit 2, page 36, Activities 2 and 3.
It was a lovely day and the sun was shining. Grandma was in her garden. She was cutting her rose tree. She was wearing thick gloves because the rose tree had long, sharp thorns. Grandma didn't see the wolf. He was hiding behind a tree and he was watching her. "What a nice grandma," he said quietly. Suddenly, the wolf leapt over the garden wall. Grandma was very frightened. The wolf landed on the long, sharp thorns. They went into his feet. "Ouch!" he screamed. "Go away, you horrible animal!" shouted Grandma. She was very brave. The wolf hopped away as fast as he could. "Ouch! Ouch! My feet hurt," he said. "She wasn't a nice grandma."
So they also made a very interesting story. I really liked it. And I hope you liked it too. Va ular ham juda ham qiziqarli hikoya qilib, ozgincha boshqacha tarzda aytib berishdi. So now let's write the letters one by one. So it was a very lovely sunny day. Grandmother was in her garden and she was cutting her rose tree. And she was also wearing what? She was wearing thick gloves. Thick, it means very fat, alright? But we only used to talk about things, not people. Thick degani juda ham qalin va semiz. Lekin odamlarni tasvirlab berishga buni ishlatmaymiz, faqat narsalarni. So she was wearing her thick gloves. Gloves. Gloves, it's something what we wear usually in winter or when it gets cold or when we are cutting some thorns in the garden. Otherwise they will put into our skin and it will hurt. That's why we wear these gloves to protect ourselves. So thorn, it means mana shu gulni, rozani, mana shu kichkina ninachalari thorn deb aytiladi. So the first letter is what a nice grandmother for him. And he leapt over the fence. What is fence? Fence, this is zabor. So he leapt over the fence and the grandmother was very much frightened, but she was very brave as well. And he landed. So what does it mean, land? Land, it means qonmoq. So he landed into the tree of roses with big thorns. And they started hurting him. So shu ninachalar, gulning ninachalari uni oyoqlariga kirib, unga og'riq berishni boshlashdi. And the grandmother started telling to the wolf, "Go away, run away, do not come here again." So he was making him leave her home. U boridan uydan chiqib ketishga majburlashni boshladi. So this is D. And then wolf hopping, it means to jump in one leg. So wolf hopping went to his favorite forest, hungry and in terrible pain. So the last one is B. I hope you also have the same answers, and now we move on. Bugun biz siz bilan grammatika strukturasini kudni yodladik va shu bilan birgalikda listening mashqini ham bajardik. Hamma narsa sizga tushunarli deb umid qilaman. Hamma ishlaringizni ham o'z vaqtida bajarib olasiz deb umid qilaman. Ko'rishguncha, xayr.